Hey guys, it's Kristen. It is July 27th. It's 6:37 p.m. So I did a lot of uh writing today. I had a lot of messages come in. So I'm just gonna go with whatever I feel like I need to say throughout this. So I'm gonna kind of be looking through this to see if I missed anything when I'm going through this because I did this in the beginning when I first started, and I feel like I actually kind of worked through that better, maybe. I don't know, but either way, it doesn't matter. And right now, obviously, I am in my closet. And so I just I don't have anywhere to go right now except for here to film, and that's what I'm doing. And after this, I'm going to the gym and then yeah, anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. Today is, I guess, what you could say astrological wise is a special day. So there's a yod happening. So it's kind of more of like a fated day for, I'm not going to say all of the collective, or maybe there's only a few specific people that are going through changes, or maybe have been sent things and they're, needing answers. And we're kind of getting basically that today. And if not, it's more answers. I know we're getting more and more answers as we get through, the rest of all of this and the year. And so if you're still kind of contemplating on certain issues, on what you, I guess, decisions as well, you know, more answers will end up coming if that's what you're looking for. But why is my nose itchy? I guess that's just confirmation of what I'm saying. So, I will say I okay, so the first thing that came up for me this morning, and okay, so first off, I'm going to start off with this just little bit story because this is going to go into what I'm about to talk about is so here in Oklahoma we have a lot of Native Americans. And I know a lot of people who are Native American and who are in different tribes. And I even know just straight up some people are just 100% Native American or Cherokee or Navajo. And whenever I went to vacation last month, and by the way, this is my dad's side of the family. We were having lunch one day, and his sister, my aunt, oh my goodness, his sister, my aunt, was talking about my great grandmother and talking about that she is Cherokee and that she was married to a chief in one of the tribes. And I've never been told this. I never knew. So I'm sitting here. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I'm like, what? Huh? What'd you just say? You just said my great grandmother's Cherokee. She was married to a chief. Yeah, if she's married to. Why am I just now hearing this? And I I never knew. So and one of the things that came up today was the movie Pocahontas. Okay, so Pocahontas was one of my favorite, like Disney, what you would call, not really, she wasn't really a princess, but you know what I mean. Like she was my favorite when I was little. I have pictures of me with like her outfit on and all of that. And so it's just crazy how I really resonated with Pocahontas as a child. And here I am finding out later on that I actually have Native American blood, which is which I think is awesome. And eventually I need to do a DNA test to find out more stuff. I have a lot of Peruvian, you know, Peruvian in my blood and Italian and a lot of other things. And I have a whole big Peruvian family in Peru. I think it's Chiclayo. And I have never met them. I have a few of them online that I've met one, but that's it. And my I call him my papa, he's my grandpa, but my mom's father, my papa, he I was hoping one day I could go to Peru with him, but that wasn't able to happen. He actually passed away. I want to say it was 10 days after my mom passed away last year. So I'm pretty sure it was 10 days after my mom passed away. So yeah, not only whenever my mom passed away, my papa passed away 10 days later. And yeah, so he lived a good long life though. And yeah, it's just something I always keep. And one day I'm going to go there and, I just need to find out more about my heritage. But anyways, like long story short, um, that's what came up today this morning was Pocahontas. So I'm like, okay, well, let me get out my notebook and I'm going to write down whatever comes to me and what's happening with what's going on right now. And I know these last few days have been rough is probably not the correct word. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Yesterday was really rough for me. I had a lot of wounds coming up, and a lot of them was abandonment wounds. And here's the thing is, it doesn't matter how much you've worked on your wounds and you've, actually dug deep, dealt with them, took accountability, working on them, worked through them. It's still something throughout life. Things are going to come up. It's going to happen. It's something we're always going to have to go through. Everybody has different paths in life and different things that they deal with. Not everybody has abandonment issues or wounds, so I may have some wounds that some other people don't have that. So either way, I really thought what was going on, what was sent to me yesterday was what I was supposed to bring out. I was actually going to do a video yesterday, and thank God I didn't, because I really needed to take that day to sit and be with myself and like really be honest with myself. And I think that's what a lot of us are going through right now is we're having a lot of things come up. And whether that's decisions that also need to be made on certain things that could have maybe long-term effects later on, maybe not. But either way, it's bringing back some, past things. And we're going to get through this. We're all going to get through this. We're all going to get through this. But, okay, so okay, I'm going to start off with this because I wrote down one of the biggest things of what I just was talking about of deciding decisions, things coming up. The reason why, for some reason, Pocahontas came through of what I needed to write down was in the song, River Bend, she's talking about she loves most about the river because you can't step in the same river twice. The water's always changes, always flowing, but people, I guess, can't live like that. We all must pay a price to safely lose our chance at ever knowing. And then I'm at the end, she's contemplating, should I choose the smoothest course? And then is all my dreaming at an end? So basically she had something come to her, a dream, whether it was a dream, whether it was a sign, whether it was a signal, whatever you get from the universe, everybody's different. Some people, they could just get something popping in their head, and some people, they could get a dream. For me personally, I get it can either come through my head, or it's just an obvious knowing, like I get sent something, or I'm watching something, or it's just sent to me, like it's just shown to me, and then it's just it's a knowing. There's no logical sense to it. It's just knowing. But anyways, that's what was sent. And we're just talking about this. We're talking about the Disney movie here. I'm not going to go into all the, so here we go. Like I'm not going to get all too specific about how that's not really the correct story, Pocahontas. I'm just here talking about the story of it and then relating to what's happening right now. So yeah, anyway, she sent the dream, of the spinning arrow. And she doesn't know what that means, but she just knows that this is something that she needs to do, where she needs to go, but she's only giving a snippet, right? But here comes her dad. Her dad's telling her, hey, here's Kocoum, like he's gonna be your husband. Like this is what we want for you. This is what will be good for you, because you'll calm down, or you'll, this is what everybody else is doing or whatever. And so that's what she's sitting there saying, if I choose the smoothest course, is all my dreaming at an end? Or, so I've had that come up of where she knows that she does not really want to go that way. She's wanting to go what was sent to her. And some of us in life, we get things sent to us, right? And we have choices sometimes. We can choose to go the safe route. And we know it's safe, right? It's safe. But either way, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, like the aftermath of either way we go, right? And either way, it would be boring if we did, like if we knew, it'd be boring. So it's kind of cool either way when we get things sent to us. Maybe not everybody does get signs and synchronicities and dreams sent to them. And like I said, everybody's path in life and the way they handle things and do things are different. And so I know I've talked about with astrology, I think in the previous video, or I think it was the second to last previous video. And I was talking about the North Node in Aries, right? So we've got Eris and Chiron together. So, and I've spoken about this plenty of times, is I am not a professional astrologer. So take what I say lightly, and don't take it as like a complete truth, because I'm always learning. I like to get other astrologers' perspectives as well of what's happening. One of my favorite astrologers is David Palmer, the Leo King. And I don't give a fuck about controversy and what people think about him in general and all of that. Doesn't matter. I listen to he says. I listen to his channeling and what he gets, and I take what resonates, or I also see if what's being brought to me is the same path, but mine's a little different. So I come out with mine, but he has his, right? Just the same thing as I come out with what I need to come out with, but I'm not the only one who can do these kind of things and help and send channels and messages. Other people can do that too. So I'm just doing what I feel like I need to do and say. So either way, one of my favorite astrologers, love him. If you haven't checked him out, please do. He's awesome if you're into that kind of stuff. So, but he was talking about North Node and Aries here. And I know I said something about it's about working with another, which is right, yes, but it's about being yourself. And so I've been talking about that, being yourself and showing up as yourself and being basically the leader and an inspiration to others. So basically doing what you say as you do, right? And be an example. So what you come out and say is truth, and people can see that or know that, and being an inspiration. And whether or not people believe in that kind of stuff or think that's a load of crap or whatever, I don't really care. All I know is there's nothing wrong with wanting to be an inspiration or to show others a different side or a different way or a different option or way of looking, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with somebody who doesn't want anything to do with that either. So we all have our opinions and choices, and things we do are valid either way. And only we know for ourselves what is right and what is truth. But it is good to get a different perspective sometimes, or a different outlook, because sometimes with the way that we have been brought up or projected, or the people that we're always around, we may not consciously see the patterns and behaviors that we continue to still do or don't do, or we may not see how narrow-minded we really are looking at certain situations or people or places or whatever it is, right? So it's always good to be open, just to be open about anything, really. And it doesn't matter either. It contradicts a lot, because like I said, there's times in life where it's happened to me where I was like really firm on something, and someone came in with a different perspective or a different outlook, and it completely changed the way that I thought about that, or I took it and spun it in my own kind of flavor. So it's just, yeah. So right now, the biggest thing too is because we just got out of the South Node in Scorpio and Taurus North Node, right? Taurus North Node is building things, building what you already have. So that's what we've been doing, right? Or hopefully a lot of us have been doing. You're building your life, right? You're building up what you want to show to the world for yourself, or just to show what you have built yourself. And you don't have to maybe show the world or show anybody. It's just your own what you have built, right? Whether that's a family, whether that's, you know, a business, what it can be anything, right? So at this point with North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, there's going to be a lot of internal looking in ourselves, making sure that we are being who we are, right? And not worrying about what anybody else thinks or says, or any criticism, anything. Just being yourself, no matter what. And accepting that, and maybe still going in, doing more healing, maybe. We're always going to be doing healing. So you're never going to be healed enough. It's life. So it's also a time to work with people who, whether that's business, could be a relationship, but it doesn't matter, but either way, to work together for the common good and betterment of the collective, right? So if you look in your chart right now, and this is just if you want to, you don't have to even do that. If you don't know your astrology or don't even believe in astrology, but Jupiter and Uranus. Where is your Jupiter and Uranus? What house is that in right now? And you can even look in your house in your natal chart too to see where it's at, but especially right now where it's at now. I don't think I checked mine, so I just know that where it's at right now, that's a shit you need to fucking turn up. That's where you will get big gifts, big, just overall big, just light that shit up and you'll get good shit coming back. That's all I'm saying and trying to say. So yeah, so just look at that. And like I said, I talked earlier about we already have everything we need right now to succeed in whatever and wherever we're going, want to go do whatever. And I know there may be a lot of people right now feeling like they haven't gone where they need to go yet, or it's maybe felt stagnant or just not where you want to be, right? Or, and doesn't go for everyone. I'm just giving out my message here. So right now that came back for me the last few days is I have been ready to just go, and it really was weighing me down, maybe by worry as well, but of just not feeling like I'm moving enough or going forward as fast or at all. And the previous video I talked about with look at what you have gone through and what you have done in the last 6 months. And you can go back even a year or two, especially the last 6 months. And I had to sit there and ask myself that question yesterday. It was yesterday, the day before. I was like, okay, well, what has happened in the last 6 months for me? What have I done? And then I realized I actually have moved a lot. Maybe not in the area that I've been wanting or expecting, but in certain areas, I have done a ton of work. And it's always good to ask yourself questions. And also during this time, there may be some kind of illusions you may be giving yourself or delusions. So be mindful of that. I'm going to say this because we're in Saturn and Pisces right now. Saturn and Pisces. So Saturn went into Pisces. It's funny. It's on my birthday. So March 8th of this year. And I have my sun in Pisces and Juno in Pisces in the 10th house, both at 18 degrees. Okay. Anybody that has Saturn in Pisces or has any other planets in Pisces, doesn't have to be Saturn, but it's pay attention and get to know those planets in your chart and what house. There's different aspects to different planets as well, and all of that. Either way, Pisces, right? What do people think about with Pisces? Pisces. To me, Pisces is very spiritual. I would say a little bit sexual, but Pisces is the intuition, the knowing, water. Well, what else did I wrote some other things in here. Yeah, I wrote deeper knowing, intuition, meditation, astrology, spiritual. So basically, I also think Pisces as healers, artists, and even people have said, I don't know where, and I don't take this as like this is truth. You can look this up, but even scientists or other astrologers have said that Jesus is a Pisces, So wisdom, knowledge, beauty. And so Saturn and Pisces, kind of the same thing of a lot of the healers and artists are coming up. Maybe your spirituality is enhancing. And this is also going with Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius, Aquarius is a lot different. But Pluto and Aquarius is being yourself, being you, being different. And so this is a beautiful time. And even though Pluto went into Capricorn for a little bit, it's going to go back in Aquarius, I want to say in January. So I know not everybody has things that either get sent to them or whatever. I'm going to explain what's happened with me my whole life. So here's the thing, this last month I've been going a little crazy, okay? Because I was sent something in March of this year. So right before Pluto went to Aquarius, I was sent something. I was sent a sign, like Pocahontas, right? So I was sent something, and I didn't know yet that I was sent something. I was just like, that's weird. That's just a coincidence. Okay. And then they sent something else where it was confirming what they just sent me. And I was like, I started paying attention. I was like, okay, what is this? What is this? This is weird. Okay. And I sit there and I go, how's this possible? What are you guys trying to tell me here? And so then I'll try to find reasons, because it's my self-sabotage shit. I'll try to find reasons of why it's not going to work. What they're sending me, I'm trying to say, no, no, you're not right. No, that's not, that's just, that's just crazy, you know? And then whether people believe in God, universe, whatever, it doesn't matter. I believe in God, universe, but I feel like every time I do that, the universe and God just like, you seriously? Like, you're gonna just sit here and keep doing that? And they're like, all right. And then they just kept slam, 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 like just sending me more stuff. And I'm just like, what? What the fuck? Like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, fine. But then I sit there and go, how? How? We don't know. We're not supposed to know how, right? Maybe we're just supposed to believe. Because I'll say this, I was sent yesterday because I was really, really down on myself yesterday. And I was sitting with myself and they sent it to me. They sent the answer I was looking for, or what I was really not getting yet. And so they said, okay, well, here you go. And what it was I've talked about this before, where I was 6 and my mom puts in this Nutcracker Russian the Nutcracker Russian movie. And how and why? Because we were strictly Baptist and dancing is a sin, whether that's even slow dancing with like your spouse, you go to hell. Like it was that strict. And so I was very confused why she was putting that on, because I was like, what uh doesn't this go? It's like what, it was meant for me to see it, because I will never forget when I watched the movie. I just knew. I just knew that's what I was going to do. I knew. I just knew. There was no logical explanation. There was, it was just, I knew. And then it was the same thing where I sat there and said, okay, well, how? How's this even possible? Because where I was at in my life at that point, with this situation being strictly Baptist, there was no way of that even being a possibility in the future yet at all, because that would have been a strictly like, that's not even going to happen, so why am I getting sent this, and I'm feeling this way? Well, God and the universe just does things, right? So things happened, external things happened that I had no control over, and we moved to Arizona. And I had a friend, uh one year, I was like in 6th grade. And this was some newer friend that I had not been friends with for some time, but she became one of my really good best friends at that time. And one day she comes to me and she goes, hey, would you like to take a free dance class at my dance studio tonight? We'll come pick you up and drop you off, and, just want to know if you want to come with me. It's like, yeah, well, I gotta ask my mom, but yeah, okay. There was the opening. So I went, asked my mom, went, and afterwards talked about that with the the friend's mom. Normally she just drops me off, but she's parked something. Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? And she said, I want to talk to your mom. I think I'm in trouble. Okay, why? Because your mom needs to know that you have something, you have a talent. Your mom needs to see you dance. She says, I've never seen somebody that's never danced before dance like what I just saw. I'm just like, okay. And shocks my mom, and my mom's like, you really want to do this? I said, yeah, I do. She goes, okay, well, I'll take you to a dance class. I think it was tomorrow, the next day, whatever. And she's like, all right. So she does. I do it. I think it was a jazz class, but she does that. And afterwards, she goes, so you sure you want to do this? I said, yes, I want to do this. And she signed me up every dance class. So it was in tap, ballet, jazz, acro, gymnastics. What did I say? Ballet, jazz, acro, hip hop, tap, ballet, yeah, jazz. And there it was. And the next one that came up for me was we came down to visit my grandparents here in Oklahoma when we lived in Arizona. And my mom, she goes, hey, there's this kickline routine, this kickline team, dance team that I want to take you to go see. That she goes, I used to go to this high school and I want to take you and you go watch them. Because, you know, Rockettes, everyone likes the Rockettes, but she goes, I want you to see them perform. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. And I'll never forget, I watched them do the routine and it was the same thing. I just knew. I knew I knew that's what I was going to do. I told my mom, said, I'm going to be one of those girls down there one day. I'm going to do that. There was, and then once again, I'm like, how the hell? How the hell is that even possible? Because there was no possibility of us even moving back. There was no talk. There was no talk there. For all we knew, we were staying in Arizona for the rest of time, whatever. There was no possibility at that time of even going back. Well, guess what? External events happen and we end up moving back to Oklahoma about a year and a half or a year later. Go to school for about 6, 7 months. I'm still playing the flute, but I'm good at it. I'm great at it, but it wasn't like something I was passionate, you know, like really passionate about. And I would go try out. I make the team. And then I tried again the next year, make the team, right? This has happened plenty of times in my life. Just like with what I'm doing here, these videos. I was in 2019. It was like 4 months after I had Wiley. Just something popped in my head of this was right when podcasts started getting big, right? So podcasts were just becoming like a big thing. And it was sent to me literally just, you need to start filming and put videos out. That was all I got. That was it. And I remember sitting there and I was at my medical billing job and I was sitting there going, how the hell am I going to do that? I don't have a camera. I don't have a studio. I don't have like, how? What am I even going to talk about? Like, that's my medical stuff. Like, and I knew I didn't want to like because the things that have happened to me medical wise, that yes, that was things that have happened to me, but that's not me. It's a part of what's happened to me, but that's not me. And it was hard because I didn't know what to do. I just knew I needed to do videos and post them, and that was it. And I was like, okay, well, let me try to see if somebody's going to do it with me. And every person I asked, and it was no, can't, too busy. And 3 years went, or almost 3 years went by, you know. And I remember a month or two before my mom passed away, I kept talking to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I don't know. Like, I know I need to do this, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say or what to do. And she just goes, just do it. She goes, do you feel like you need to do it, right? I said, yeah. And she goes, well, if you don't do it, then you're going to wonder what if for the rest of your life if you don't. And she goes, I already know you. You're going to do it. It's just sometimes you need people to push you, maybe, you know? And when my mom passed away, it was one of those things kind of woke me up of, okay, like, time's short and I have to do this. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just going to go with it. And I did. And now we're here, right? And same thing has happened this last March, where I was sent something. And it's been the same thing of how the hell is that even going to happen? How the hell is that going to, like, I don't see the possibility because of my situation in life right now. Like, how? And that's yesterday. They brought that to me and they said, your whole life, my whole life. And I'm talking from what they sent to me and what I got from God and universes. They told me, we have sent you these things throughout your life, and you have done the same thing. And we have always come through, and it's always happened in the way that it was supposed to. And that you're not supposed to know everything, and just to believe in it, right? And some people, they may think I'm crazy. That's fine. But the cool thing about Saturn and Pisces too is the knowing. Pisces is knowing and intuition, and you get the signs and you get the downloads. And my dad, which I didn't know this a few months ago until I was looking at his chart, but my dad has Saturn and Pisces. My dad has Saturn and Pisces. He's also got Chiron and Pisces, and we went through Chiron and Pisces before Aries, which now I understand why all the stuff he went through, like, damn. But it reminds me of a story my dad always tells me about my mom, which I don't remember all of the details. He's told me quite a few times I should remember the whole thing, but my dad loves telling the story, and I need sometime, I hope he can come on with me and he can talk about it. But he said he was actually dating someone else at the time. He was dating someone else at the time. He was at a party with his best friend, and he said, I saw your mom. She was wearing this like Madonna 80s glove. And I don't remember what else she was wearing, like what he said, but I remember the Madonna's 80 glove. And he said, I remember seeing your mom. He goes, and I just knew. The moment I saw her, I just knew. And sometimes in life, maybe fate, miracles, things happen, even the most hurtful or painful things. And we think that we may not be able to get over a certain person or situation or whatever's going on right now. But if you look at how your life's been and what you've gone through, pain, hurt, loss, trauma, wounds, you still got through it, right? Whether you believe in the universe, God, fate, destiny or not, I definitely believe in that kind of stuff. I definitely believe in destiny, and I definitely believe that there is fate, and you can't that it happens whether you want it to whether you want it to or not, like, so I've accepted, like, all right, and now I'm at this point in my life where I was like, all right, let's fucking go. Even though I've gone back a little bit with fighting myself of, oh, well, how, and this and that, and I still have my days, but I sit there and I balance, and that's the whole point too with Pisces, right? Or even Saturn and Pisces too, to balance the self and the spiritual, and to sit with yourself, ask yourself questions, be honest with yourself, and be yourself, right? And to understand that you may not be where you want to be yet, or where you think you should be, but you are, though. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You are meant to be here right now. Everything has happened for a reason. And sometimes it is hard to let go of certain people and places. And I have gone through a lot in my life, and I know everyone's different. But I feel like for me to get to where I need to go, or I know I need to go, or even when I get there, I feel like I have to go through like major changes and transformation, and just beating my head up against a brick wall over and over and over again until I get there. And then when I get there, it's more of that appreciation. And I'm like, damn, I did that. I fucking did that. And more of like just proud. And each time is a more of it accepting that my path in my life. And I've learned through all of these things that the times I didn't, I was sent things and lessons. And even whenever I didn't, I feel like the universe and God still has things happen, rearranges. Even if you don't choose what you're shown and given to you. And sometimes you have to take risks. Sometimes maybe you have to take a risk and lose it all, right? Sometimes maybe it's a risk, you might lose it all. Or you might gain the best fucking thing you've ever got or had, or in your life. Best miracle, whatever. And let's say you risk it all. And let's say you did lose it all, right? And it didn't happen the way you expected or wanted, or at all, maybe. Let's just say that. You're still here. If you do that, you're still alive, and you can still rebuild and find a new dream and find a new path. And yes, there's times in life we don't get everything we want or expect or think we deserve or should get or deserve or whatever. And there's times in life, some people, maybe they have to rebuild everything completely. And I'll say I've had to do that a few times. But if you're still here and you're still alive, you're here for a reason. You still got time too. Even though time is short, the best things too, sometimes are the ones that do take longer, or does take more patience, more understanding, maybe more banging your head against the wall until you get the full picture of what's happening, the full details, right? Sometimes we think we know, and maybe it's not what we thought at all, and it was completely something different but better as well. It's life. So this is also a time to not worry. Stop worrying about how things are going to work out or end up, and just keep looking back and just see how, even though there have been a lot of maybe pain, hurt, loss, grief, sadness, maybe betrayal, lies, that you still got through it and you're still here, right? You're still doing the damn thing. So it's okay to still contemplate on some things, because I know that there's some people in the collective right now that are still having maybe a difficult time making a decision or a certain decision on something or a few things or whatever. And it is, go find someone who you trust, who you respect, and bring it to them. Try to get their input, judgment, advice, opinion. But still understand that even though you respect them and trust them, you can listen to their opinion, listen to their advice. You can take what resonates or take what you see fit, but you still know what's best for you and what's going to work for you, and to trust yourself. It's another thing that's been very hard for me my whole life, is with abandonment issues and trauma, abuse, is I would trust other people more than myself, because I was kind of taught that I didn't know what was best for me, so I needed to go to those people or someone else. And this was something I did not really know I was doing for a long time. And so I expected other people to make decisions for me, or was too afraid to make certain decisions. Even though I knew it was right, I let other people say, or other people make that for me, or project it, or whatever it was. And this has been a time of me finally understanding that I can trust what is being brought to me, shown to me, and that I can trust myself to make decisions or go towards what I feel is right for me. And if other people have a problem with that, or have an issue with that, or want to criticize me for that, sorry, you're not living my life, and no one's living yours. And if you know deep down that you are being your complete self, fully, truly, and other people have a problem with it or have an issue, that's on them, not you. Because the people that are going to win and move forward are the ones that show who they are, lead by example, be an inspiration for other people to hopefully do that for themselves too. And so I know that was a little bit of a rough start there in the beginning for me, but I think I got through everything here. Hmm. Because I'm kind of going through everything to make sure I have explained everything that I kind of wrote on here, because I know that what was sent to me was I needed to put out and then bring out, make sure I'm not missing anything at this point. So, yeah, I talked about that. I mean, so here I've got uh I've wrote stop blaming others for your problems and issues, learn to take accountability for your actions and feelings. Talked about this before in multiple videos. So this is also a time too where we may want to project, or we may want to blame others for how we're feeling, what's going on in certain situations. I'm not saying this is everyone, and you may not even resonate with this. So just I'm putting out whatever is sent to me. So someone needed to hear it. I don't know. Either way, a lot of the times when you are blaming other people or criticizing or judging, you are projecting out your own shit that you need to look at. And that's hard. Like I said, I had to do that. I had to really, that is hard. Taking accountability and actually accepting that, like, oh shit, I do that. Like, that's fucking hard. It's a hard thing to do. But then after you do it, you're just like, you let it go and you go and you forgive yourself and you just let it go and go, okay, well, now I know. So let's just do better. And sometimes you fuck up making mistakes but you're not your mistakes and failures. So either way, we all make mistakes. We all fail. We all do shit, but we all learn from those too, right? So I also put uh something about past relationships. So past relationships. So what's ever happened to you in past relationships, and learn to accept what people have done to you. Even like if they projected, they've lied, they betrayed, they cheated, they whatever it was. Learn to accept that other people too have traumas and wounds and issues, and that is not on you, right? And that you may also play a part in why you have brought that person into your life. And even if you didn't, there was still a lesson you needed to learn. And that's hard because I've gone through a lot of painful, hurtful relationships. I've been cheated on a lot. I've been uh, betrayed. I mean, there's been a lot of things, but when you also are unaware, or like I said, if you're unaware of your behaviors, patterns, and cycles that you're doing, you unconsciously send or attract certain partners to you and they mirror. And that's also that's a hard one to take too, because uh like one of the most hurtful ones was you know I I take accountability for why I got someone who was deceptive, because I was being deceptive. I didn't even really, I knew, but it wasn't like really, it was unconscious, and I wasn't aware. And I was pretending to have it all together. I was pretending that you know, I didn't have certain issues whenever I was struggling with those issues, and I was kind of hiding that and not fully being open with who I really was to that person. And then I realized when I found certain things out, when things came up, and I was like, oh, I I can't be fully open about all of this right now, but either way, like I was like, oh, well, now I understand and now I know better. And now that I've worked on myself, worked on healing, found my self-worth and love again, that now I can have more positive, healthy, loving relationships and friendships and people and whoever, because I did the work and I'm aware now and I've been doing, yeah, I've been telling, showing, it's just, that's one of the most hardest things to take, especially if you've had really painful relationships, uh, because we also are the problem too, and we can't always blame. So it's just all of like, we all have different paths and different learning, and and then you realize with that certain person or whoever it is that you think that you're never gonna get over, or oh, you're scared or fearful that you're not going to find someone better than that person, or you're not going to find anyone that is not going to do what all of everybody has in the past. Is you got to get out of that, because not everybody's the same, and it's something within you need to look into and work on and understand that anytime you have thought of that, because I've had issues with this in the past where I would stay in a relationship for too long when I knew I needed to leave. I knew I needed to leave. It was a knowing. I fully knew, but I still was like, feeling sorry for myself and going, well, I'm gonna find anybody better. Poor me, you know. Oh my gosh. But you can either stay with someone and be in purgatory and be unhappy and what if wondering, or sometimes, like I say, you maybe have to take a risk, or you understand, like God and the universe, like they work for you, they work for your highest and greatest good. They're not going to have you leave someone that's supposed to be for you and go, haha, gotcha. So I mean, if you're feeling that, I can tell you what to do and I can't give you the answer. What I can say is I can give you what's happened with me and what I've learned. Yeah. So when I found and worked on myself and found my self-love again and worth and everything, those people, especially, I was like, I'm never gonna get over him. Oh my God, like it was so great. And then I realized, oh fuck, that person, like, no, 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 no. And, you know, there's certain things I wish I could speak on about, because I feel like there's certain situation and story I would love to speak out. And I have thought about doing it, but then I'm like, and to what end would that even work for me? Yes, it may make me feel better, right? But that's coming from ego. And family is the number one thing for me. I fight, protect for my family and for my children. Even like my dad, my brothers, like it doesn't matter. Even if they don't do it for me, I am all about family. Doesn't matter if they're for me or not. Like I'm all looking down for family. If I say what I am wanting to say, I had to really sit there and think, okay, well, what if my children see this later on in life and they may look at me differently? And I don't want that. I don't want that for them. And it's something that it sucks. I wish I could, I so badly wish I could tell my story. But sometimes we also have that too, where we can't tell certain stories. But God in the universe does give you justice on things. And for some reason too, I feel like there's going to be someone, maybe multiple, someone specifically that is going to give that justice and be able to tell my story that I wasn't going to be able to tell. It's weird. I don't know. But that's why I also don't really post a lot about my children. I like to keep that private, and I like to keep certain things like that. Family is very important, and my children are very, very important. And I try to do the best that I can. And I know that I hope that they can be inspired by all of this one day too, by what I'm doing. And understand that there's certain things I didn't want to happen or even expected to happen or I didn't plan. But I also want them to do the same for themselves when they're older. And they may get mad at me for a while or for a long time. I don't know. But I have to accept either way. Um, but I love my children. I, yeah, who knows? I may have more one day. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if that's in the cards. I don't know. Might be. I think it is. My mom came to me one time in a dream and she had a baby, another baby. I was like, oh, she wouldn't tell me. I was like, is it a boy or girl? And she's like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, And plus, the internet's really a lot, and there's a lot of predators and weirdos. And I'm just gonna say, I don't have ugly kids, and I make fucking I make good looking kids. I don't care if that comes off. I don't care if that comes off bad or not. I make good looking freaking kids. I'm not posting for weirdos to do weird stuff with. Okay? I'm not. No. And I've also like looked at it from a different standpoint of like, if my parents had Facebook and all this shit, like what we have right now on Instagram, all that, and they would have posted the pictures that they took back then and posted it online for people to see. Oh, no, no. Maybe one day when they get older and they can understand, and I can like ask them, hey, like, can I post some of these? Or hey, would you care? But I want them to be able to make that decision, and because they're a person too. Like, even though they're a child, I understand that there's certain things that I have to keep them safe from too at certain points and different times. But they're still a person, and they still like just because they're a child doesn't mean that I can just post all their pictures or post a bunch of pictures. Like, I get why other people do, and that's fine if you want to do that. If you even do that, it's fine. Like, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I come from that standpoint of, yeah, you know, like, so let me see if there's anything else. Um, I wrote down here, by carelessness and being too involved with ourselves, we can go into famine or poverty of whatever aspect in life we're taking for granted, or not appreciating enough, or loving enough, or taking enough responsibility for. So if we decided, yes, I'm taking that in, I'm going to do that, and I'm understand the responsibility of that or that person or whatever situation, and you take it for granted, or you become more engulfed in what you're doing more than what you said you would also take responsibility for. The universe and God works in ways to sometimes you lose or have poverty or famine in a certain aspect in your life because whatever you're doing, you're taking for granted or not appreciating enough, or responsibility, care, love. So I don't know. That was just something I wrote. So I'm just bringing that out there. I put on here too, some people need to make logical decisions. Everyone's different. Some people need to make logical decisions. If you are too emotional and too in your feelings, you may not see correctly or make the right decision. So be mindful also right now during this time. And then I put also, some people need to make emotional and feeling with intuition. And also, you know what's best for you. You know what you need to do. If you know in your life the best ways it's worked for you is logical. If you are in an emotional state right now and you are really just not balanced or not feel balanced, you really need to ask yourself questions, figure it out, sit with yourself, balance, ground, and then take it from a logical stance. But you know what's best for you. Um, Also, I put on here, learn to balance emotions and responsibility. Just intuition. Yep. So, and then the last thing I put on here is, um, don't chase butterflies. Let them come and sit with you. So sometimes we get so caught up in wanting to like go too quick, or we think, oh, I need to get there now. Oh, if I'm not there now, I'm going to miss out, or I miss this. Or if you may feel a void sometimes, maybe you're used to chaos, a lot of chaos. So you may feel, when it's comfortable or still for a little bit, you may feel like, oh, I need to change something up. I need to do something different, because you're so used to chaos. You're so used to movement. Understand there's times for everything too, right? So understand when that time is. You need to really understand how your life has worked. when the seasons of your life work, and understand when a season comes in, whether it's maybe it's a more still season, a more sit back and just relax, chill, just keep doing kind of your daily stuff, right? There's a season where okay, it's for time go. There are seasons for everything. You need to understand when and what season you're in. And when certain things come up, when you're feeling a certain way and hey, but I'm in this season and I'm feeling this. Don't be too impulsive. I've had that problem, being way too impulsive sometimes. And understand that when you want things to come to you, right? That's where I got that from, is whenever you go into a butterfly museum, you're not going and chasing the butterflies and trying to grab them. And, maybe you're a kid, you're probably doing that. They come to you when you sit and you sit still. It comes to you. So even grounding, be still. The answers will come to you. So, there's things I want to do more of, but I know I'm really working on my health for the most part and doing this. I would love to be doing more videos and be doing more creative things with it, and maybe changing a few things, and even getting on TikTok. I want to start working on TikTok, but I don't want to do too much right now. So I'm sitting still and just kind of letting it come to me. If it comes to me and someone comes to me or an opportunity comes to me, that's when I know to take it or to not take it, or who knows. But it's just, we all have things going on right now in our own lives, and it's a time to go into. So let's just calm. Don't stop worrying just stop worrying. You're good. If you just sit there and realize that everything's okay right now, everything's good, you're good. Everything's good. You're going to be all right. You got this. So, all right. I know this is pretty long, but I need to get this message out. I knew this was going to be a long video. I tried to do it as fast as I could, but yeah, either way, thank you all so much for always listening. And I love you all. Take care of yourselves.